Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, episode 165. Want to talk a little bit about the Corey Perry moments. Obviously, anytime the Titans moments came out, it was a pretty hot button topic. I think the Thornton one again, it's hard to remember them all in terms of like what was going on when those came out. The Panarin ones will go down in infamy, just like Packpocalypse and of NHL 24. The Panarin moments, I don't know if we've ever gotten something so insanely frustrating than that. The Corey Perry moments, let me talk a little bit about them. It's a frustrating line to walk because number one, I love the fact that there is moments to play out where Corey Perry is, or a card is the reward, and it's a very strong card. It's something that technically everyone could get for free. You don't need to invest resources. You do need to invest time, and for more people, some people, a lot more than others. That being said, I do love that. I think what people are hung up on is just some of the difficulty, right? I'm going to take myself as a example here. As you know, if you've been watching my streams and like that, I hit Division 1 in NHL. I cover the game in the content release, but not playing it so much anymore, taking time off. 99 Hut to me, as someone who tries to educate and help you guys get better at the game, I know that if I continue playing NHL online a lot, all the way up until the release of the game, it's not going to make me a better player. You're playing a different game, right? So if anyone's done the play test, it's going to feel very different. But when you do like the beta from years past, right? It always feels so slow and different, especially at launch of the game. That's because everyone's used to 99 Hut. So I stay away kind of near the last month or so, simply because it just doesn't offer a lot. I stream it a little bit, but for the most part, I just take my time and that's it, right? So the Corey Perry moments, that being said, it is a 99 overall card. It is a card that you can have in your team the rest of the game. It's one of the best right-handed cards in the game. And therefore, I'm okay with it being insanely difficult. But obviously, we keep getting into this issue where it's the response is, why is something so difficult? Why is something so expensive? Because it's late in the year. And that's something that I think EA has not figured out yet. And that is recognizing the end of the cycle. Now, this is probably a business thing. No one gets to see these numbers, but I would be willing to bet that there's people out there that literally came home and they make exceptional amount of excess money, and they come home and they probably bought Corey Perry for like, whatever, $80, whatever it was. And to a lot of us, that's ridiculous. But to some, expendable income is crazy, right? Like they have an abundance of it and they don't have a lot of time because they have an abundance of income, right? They have to work to get it, right? So, what's frustrating though is that in the last 6 weeks, 2 months of the game, it should be, let's blow this up, let's try and cause the most amount of fun and noise that you can. In my opinion, I would love to see them do Packpocalypse on purpose, just packs on packs on packs. I think it would bring so many people back to the game for the final month of the year, or 6 weeks. Final season should be, the season is what, 6 weeks. It should be that. And, you might not get as much revenue, but you would make a lot of noise. And in the late summer, when we start seeing stuff about NHL 26 or the next game, noise is what you want. And the Corey Perry moments kind of highlight a major issue, and that is that they just seem kind of tone deaf with that. They made it very hard. It is very difficult. I will be doing them during a live stream. I saw the moments and what they are. I've seen people in the community that I recognize as pretty good players. They struggle with it too. Here is what I would say. Back in December when Panarin came out, and then when Thornton came out and Heatley, it was not worth your resources because the carrot, we were chasing the carrot so much, to spend your resources on a free card when you just need to buckle down and get this done, except for Panarin, because Panarin moments were as difficult as the Corey Perry moments, but they did not track right. So you could score a top right goal, but it wouldn't count. It took me 8 hours. 8 hours. I was so locked in, and the amount of times that I actually scored the goal required but it didn't count was absurd. But the Corey Perry ones work. They're just very difficult to pull off. And again, I think it's okay for a 99 over a card. I just think that we're so late in the year, make them fun and then everyone gets a Corey Perry card, you might get some people that are like, hey, I could take 15 minutes, get a 99 overall card. All right, let's check it out. Let's play the game a little bit, right? Like, I just think that getting people into the game is more important than the couple $1,000 you might make off people buying packs to get these cards still. I personally, again, not a businessman. Well, technically, I guess, but I don't see the numbers. EA might do exceptional amount of money in the late stages, and we just don't know. But the Corey Perry moments, guys, here, if you can do a few moments, just go and spend the trade in the 90 and 92 overall cards. Just go, like, I promise you, it's a 99 overall card, a very good one. It is worth trading in your set. Like, even if it was, here's Corey Perry, trade in all of this stuff to get him, we would do that. The reason why everything's so frustrating is because you have these moments that some people can complete, other people can't, and when the people that can't, why should we have to pay our resources, right? I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Whatever you're saving your set fodder for, the next MSPs might be 98 overalls. But the Corey Perry one with free abilities and his size and everything like that, trade in the last few to get the collectibles, just do it. Honestly. I'm someone that always protects your collection fodder. I try to lead you away from using up your resources incorrectly. This is one where I would say, hey, try the moments for an hour. If you are legitimately just hating your life, trade in the collectibles. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to be better than almost all the MSPs, more than likely. So I just wanted to get that out there. I do hope they bring them back for your next year. The one thing I don't like is that it seems so random. The 4 goals and I miss the Cebulski when moments first came out. When my man Nicholas brought them back, they were his baby, and he's no longer with Hut or NHL. He had Cebulski narrate them. There was that little opening. Man, it was just so good. Like, I just wish, like, I don't have a good voice for it, but man, you don't have to pay a lot to get a voice actor to just read over a script. Dude, you could get one of the producers of the game to just explain, hype up the moment, get a Getty image, just slow zoom in, doesn't need to be a video, like, add something to it, right? It's moments. I just don't want to read this little sentence where it's like, score this, do this random task, and that's it. Don't do that. Make it mean something. All right, let's get into the questions from the last video. We're going to start first up top here. The most liked comment, Dartboy says, for me, the fantasy cards were awesome, as well as the gallery of greats. As a 50-year-old, I love that you can play really any way you'd like. I don't mind doing chores and rarely play online. I think that Dartboy, appreciate it. I do think that there are people out there, the people that enjoy playing offline, coming home, playing a little bit offline, and slowly working towards a card. That's like an enjoyable thing. I think a lot of us, because we're so hardcore about the game, we don't want to be. I try to think about questions to ask the player base when we're upset. And I think the question is, we all want to get the rewards as quick as possible. We don't want to be doing chores in a video game, 100%. I think my question that I really want people to answer now is, what are you trying to rush through the content to get to? And I think Hut lacks a lot of that. I think when you answer that question honestly, so if you're still playing the game religiously online, you got 200 games in Rivals in the season, okay? Fine, if that's what you want to do with your time. No judgment here. Why, when you grind through the objectives or the Corey Perry moments or whatever, what are you so upset with and what do you want to get back to doing? I think that's a bigger issue, is that there's a lack of like things we want to do, and then we're frustrated by that, and then it's like, oh, I got to get, so the solve that we make because we're addicted to the game is we are like, I got to make the best team. I got to get all these top end cards. But it's like, for what? Right? Like, I ask myself that a lot. And throughout the year, I just kind of accepted where I was in terms of skill and ranking because I didn't want to do the L2 glitch and all of that. And I was just playing to play. Once I made a goal of getting to Division 1, it changed everything, like my outlook on it. And I think that when we forget, because I think Dartboy here is the quiet minority of the gaming community. The people that just enjoy playing the game offline, they play their moments. Because if you're an offline gamer, you could throw stuff in like your event cards and get an MSP probably faster than online players. I think that's a big issue, right? But yeah, man, I appreciate your feedback here. I'm glad that the fantasy cards in the Gallery Greats event, like I said, I thought were awesome. At the time, I didn't in terms of Gallery Greats, but once you think about it, I do enjoy it. But Gord says every team should have an RPG card. The overall capped at the highest MSP in the game. Goals, assists, hits, shot blocks could raise those attributes. So in real life or while you're playing with that card. Oh, so RPG. Yeah, when you get goals with that card. Speed that raises with odd number overalls. Endurance would grow with even number overalls. That way you don't get a 97 Weber at 91 speed. I do enjoy that. That way you can play and level up your team's card. If you get that game at Christmas and want to play a week straight, playing 20 hours a day using that card, you could possibly catch up. Unlike the daily hat-trick cards that are useless if you started late or if you picked up any other player other than Couture. 100%. I love this idea. If they're going to do... Here's the issue. I'm over the daily login cards. I don't want some card to be the reason why they want you to log in daily. That's what the hat trick cards are, guys. It's simply just a way to get you to come back into the game. But if they are going to do that, make those cards insane. Like if you're going to get, you know what I mean? Reward the people that are logging in every day. I think it should be a great idea. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know they started adding more saved stuff to the game. There is a exponential amount of, I don't care. I don't mean to give this as an excuse. I'm just explaining. Okay, guys, cost to the amount of saved data they have. So one of the big reasons why they didn't have leaderboards, from my understanding, was that the amount of, imagine you play a game, it's got to save all the info from that game. When 100,000, 200,000 games go on, right? Like, they had to buy more, I think. They had to get more like storage, and I think that's literally what they did. And you'd have to go and look and see. Because when you remove a card and then you add it back, does it save your... when you add a card to your team and then remove it, does it save your data? Like, does you score 1,000 goals with Mario Lemieux's power-up icon? Let's say you sell it and you make a new one. Does it remove? It removes all of that, right? Because it's an individual card ID, or does it save from the actual card ID number? Interesting. Because if that's the case, because I've only seen the cards that are on your team, and they accumulate stats. When you put them in your collection, you click on them, it doesn't show unless they're in your lineup, I believe. Right? So they would have to add the ability to save that stuff to do things like this. Right? Because if you took them out of your lineup or whatever, I don't know if it saves. Like, I don't remember because I'm not looking at it. But once you get rid of the card, does it come back? I mean, I guess technically you're not getting rid of the card. And obviously, taking the card out, you can play a game and it will continually adding stats. You should be able to do this. No, they should be able to do this. 100%. 100%. Talk myself away around that. I apologize. My wish list, my NHL 26 wish from Trobot says, is an auction house like eBay. I put my bid up. If someone beats it, my bid will increase until I get the top bid or reaches my max bid. So MLB has such a good system for this. They basically have buy and sell orders. So first of all, the auction house in NHL is so busted and slow that if you don't have good ping, like QCs get no, I'm just kidding, but QCs get an advantage in the auction house. And major issue there because bids don't matter. But in NHL 20 or MLB, for example, for anyone that doesn't play, how it works is, let's say, launch of the game, cover athlete Lindros. You want cover athlete Lindros. You're not willing to pay 300,000 coins, but you're willing to pay 350. You're going to bed. You're not sitting on the damn auction house all night. When you go to bed, you can put a buy now order in for 350,000 coins. And if, let's say, everyone buys up those Lindroses and no one else is buying them while you put that order up, eventually, if your order gets to the top, someone gets that card and wants to sell it to the highest bidder, goes to you automatically, which is such a good system. Like, it's so good. It creates a lot, but like that's the basis of it. Such a good way to do it. And the auction house 100% needs a refresh. Like, it's just, we've had the same. This is the same thing that I used to complain about with the modes. I used to say Rivals, Champs, Squad Battles, Repeat. It's been that since NHL 20, right? We finally got a new mode, and whatnot. It's now getting a little embarrassing, in my opinion, that the font can change, You can throw on the lights and turn them off in the background all you want. It looks the exact same. Like, I don't know how we justify that. I get because the amount of resources that probably isn't going to move the needle. Like putting in wildcard or fixing the menus and whatnot. A lot of people are going to say fix the menus instead, but like think about that from a casual player standpoint. Who like the amount of people that would actually care, the auction house and everything looks different as opposed to a new mode, like, or even just from a marketing standpoint. Hey, we cleaned up this thing that we haven't changed in 7 years. Now it's quicker. It's like, it should have been quicker. It's NHL. It's 2025, right? Can't market it. It's not a what they call a back of the box feature. Not that they really have those anymore, but that's the term. And 100%, man. The auction house needs to be changed simply because of the ping. Like the fact that you can't refresh the auction house quick enough, it causes you to lose bids, is hilarious to me. Get rid of the timer. Like I said, just put up buy orders. Like it's just nuts. The reason less than 5% of the communities passed the first GM Connected week is because the mode flat out didn't work and took way too long to edit lines. It's not about finding 10 buddies, it's about finding 1 to 2. I'm going to finish first. Unfortunately, franchise modes need to be completely overhauled from scouting development forehand, and that hasn't happened in years. The mode is a mess in its menus. Agree with that. Yes, I always say this, revisionist history, NHL 14 is viewed as this god tier game. A lot of it didn't work. The reason why NHL 14, in my opinion, is viewed as the god tiered game is one, the largest portion of sports gamers were growing up and we hit the 20 to 25-year-old mark. I'm not saying that my generation is the most important for sports games, but I'm saying that if you were 30 in the 90s, you might have messed around with sports games a little bit. By the time 2000s rolled around, you probably moved on because you're in the 40s, you have less time, things like that. And then kids were playing RPGs. They're playing Halo, you know what I mean? Like, if you were born 85 to 95, that's really the sweet spot of like sports gaming for franchise mode. That's what we grew up on, right? And NHL 14, the reason why, in my opinion, I think it's viewed as the best game is not because it was the best game. I think it was because it offered the most. So it had GM Connected, it had HUT, had ESHL. Franchise mode was okay, passable. It was decent. They had the Winter Classic and stuff in there and whatnot. It had the most it ever did. NHL 15 came out, literally had no World of Chell, right? Like, ever since then, they've been removing things to funnel the remaining audience to actually find games online and things like that, right? But what you're saying about GM Connected, the reason why less than 5% of the communities didn't play, that's simply not the case. Imagine you have 10 buddies, okay? Or even 1 to 2 friends that want to play it, right? The vast majority just the reason why GM Connected has the potential to be unbelievable is because you get to create storylines, okay? If I make a league, which I would if GM Connected came back, I told you guys I'd make 4 to 5. All stats would be tracked on LG. It'd be in my Discord. I would find after a few seasons, we would move players up a division, down a division, and eventually we would get to the spot where almost everyone's on the same playing field, and you can then play through. That's what I would curate, like ways to make the community and find the like-minded and like skilled players, right? But I have access to one of the largest communities, in all honesty, right? Just based on the audience, right? If you were just if I took away what I do for a living, and I just want to play with my buddies, trying to convince guys that have kids, guys that are married, to play a couple hours a week of franchise mode that really doesn't have a storyline other than, like you and your 2 friends. I don't think it drives enough. There would be people that would use it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it wouldn't. The reason why GM Connected went away, guys, is not because EA didn't make money off of it or EA wanted to hate on the community. Guys, I get that you think that EA is incompetent, and there's some things that they do that is questionable. But everything they do from that standpoint is calculated in terms of a business decision. And I get that GM Connected didn't make money, right? But the resources required, because they can see the amount of people that actually played the game. I'm saying the people that played it, they can weigh that cost to the worth of having it in. And the reason, if this was a 2-year dev cycle, if sports games came out every 2 years, if in the early 90s when Madden first came out and NHL 94 and all of that, If sports games didn't create this archaic yearly cycle that is now busted and only existed because gaming was increasing in technology at such a rapid rate every year, there was massive improvements graphically as well as stuff that you could do, and fresh new sports year, fresh new game, updated rosters. All we did was play franchise mode back then, right? All the way up until about 2008 when the skill stick came out. That was really when offline or online took off, right? That was when I started grinding versus. Um, like that's an archaic model, and I think that if it went to a 2-year dev cycle, then it's potential. I'm telling you guys, with what they have as resources, GM connected going into the game and it working. That's the thing. Like they won't release it unless it's working, and I mean like pretty well done. That is almost all we're going to get. And I want you to think about how you play the game. And if you're a franchise mode player, then this might be sick. Like regardless, and there's a lot of franchise mode players. But I'm thinking if you're an online player, you dabble in Hut, you play World of Shell, and you think you want GM connected more than anything, like this is not going to be an I told you so. But eventually, GM connected will come out, and we're going to see the numbers because I'll be asking because I want people to play it, and I will do everything in my power to create as many communities as I possibly can in leagues because they'd be sick. And I think that's the job of every creator when GM Connected come out is to curate as many as possible for everyone. It's going to be awesome for a very small portion of the player base, but there's a lot that just don't have time, man. There is, man. You say that it's not about finding 10 buddies. Like, that is the case, dude. Like, if I go to my buddies, I'm like, yo, I want you, we're going to play fantasy hockey, but we got to play the games, and it's going to be about 2 hours a week. Dude, my buddies are going to laugh at me. I get 2 nights of slow pitch. That's it. I get a couple of games of slow pitch a week. That's it. That's all. Like, it's just so much more difficult. I think a lot of people don't realize that. And again, I think GM Connect will be sick. It's just the reward has to be enough because we're essentially burning a year of really getting anything else. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, guys. Tomorrow, I believe we get a new event, so we'll be going over that. The Ogres will hopefully be done with, and we'll be back to getting... I don't know what the event would be. Someone in the comments here, I didn't get to all the comments. I could definitely see, like, how is there no awards? I'm stunned that there was no awards. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.